all Skinfolk and Kinfolk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we have to look at it like, well, who promotes the culture? Who supports the culture?
Mm-hmm.
Who is giving to the culture and not taking away from it? You know what I'm saying? Like I think sometimes we have to take that perspective, because in that case, we're going to end up having to analyze people who all right, it's easy to analyze people who don't look like us. That's easy. Shut you down. But then we got to start looking at ourselves who don't really fit in.
Well, the problem is we give the culture away.
Yes.
We give the culture away, and others capitalize and monetize the culture.
And we give it away because
we give it away for free
after capital gain, or for our own pockets or opportunities or whatever.
Right,
so
for us,
give it away.
for individuals,
Yes.
not for the culture. So that's where the differentiation comes from. I mean, even look now with the games you can buy in Target, culture tags and what's the game?
What is that?
Cards for Humanity and stuff like that.
Cards for Humanity, like Black Card Revoked, like all that kind of stuff. Was that for us? Or because anybody can go buy that, you feel me?
That's
so
true.
You can't even play the game.
And
How you know?
so it's really
Can't play. That's exactly what I'm talking
it's
about.
really the pulling from the culture, but we get a game for free.
Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. The podcast where men can have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast where men can have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex.
It's every time I say, because of where I grew up, y'all roll your eyes and huff y'all breath like.
Now I got on sunshades. He don't say I'm rolling my. I didn't say a word.
Oh no, he was rolling them. That's how hard you was rolling them.
That's how we know facts don't matter, man.
Well, they're not
Facts
fact
don't matter.
checking no more, so I guess it. I guess it's,
I'm over here enjoying my little beverage.
Sure
I
he
didn't
is.
think about what he was saying.
He wasn't enjoying it though until after the comment, and then all of a sudden,
Because I wanted a sip before we got on air.
mm-hmm,
Crazy, man.
mm-hmm.
God, dog.
The judgment I feel cast upon me.
Well,
it's not really
it's
that Melvin.
misplaced.
It's not really that Melvin. It's just that DMV cats really just be.
DMV.
They really be DMV.
Like,
you
bro,
know what I'm
what's wrong with
saying?
that?
we know where you from.
We know where you from.
We know.
You know what I'm saying?
We
All right,
know.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Every chance we
good.
get, you bringing up the Ville.
He do be bringing up the
Do
Ville.
you hear
right?
me saying anything about how we don't want to hear about Martinsville? Like, do you hear me say that?
276, baby.
Rep your set. But I'm just saying, do you hear me say anything about stop talking about, the Ville and where you from?
But see that
And acknowledging
is
where you came from.
That is a great distinction right there. I'm talking about where I'm from, the actual city. Cats from the DMV be like, I'm from the DMV. Where you really from? Oh,
Fredericksburg, like Melvin. Fredericksburg.
I'm from Woodbridge.
Throwing up
That's the DMV.
Fredericksburg.
I'm from Harrisonburg. That's not DMV.
Woodbridge is DMV.
Yes, but I'm saying you could be.
You're talking
from
about
there.
people on the outskirts.
People on the
Okay,
outskirts.
and you know why they do that? Why do they do that?
Because their city is nothing,
Exactly.
and they're trying to attach to something.
So they act
But
like
my
you know
city
where.
is everything.
A large,
Exactly.
A larger
Okay.
piece.
So act like you know where I'm from. then.
Exactly.
We
If
never
it won't
said
nothing,
we know
then
where you
No,
was
I'm
from.
just- but rep
just
your
act like
city.
just act like you know.
You from
that's all
Woodstock?
that's all I
Just
want
say
you
you
to know.
from Woodstock.
Right,
You
know
feel
what I'm
me?
saying? From Reston. You from Reston? Okay, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
Alexandria,
I'm
nigga,
just saying.
I mean-
Just act like you know.
I mean,
It's
just say you
alright.
from Alexandria.
Right.
But see, what happens with the DMV is you claim DC, and DC is really the true representation. Everybody wants to be from DC. I'm from
Everybody don't
Southeast,
wanna
I'm
be
from,
from
I'm
Yeah,
from
yeah,
North.
yeah,
I'm from
yeah,
North
yeah.
South.
Everybody
You
don't
know what
wanna
I'm
be
saying?
Man, if you don't
DC,
sit
bro.
your mumbo sauce eating ass down somewhere.
Everybody don't want to be from DC, yo.
But they say
And this is why you
DMV
can't have this conversation with outsiders. This is what I be talking about, bro.
What are you? What are you talking about?
I'm not saying
Because you made statements like everybody want to be from DC, but everybody don't want to be from DC.
like I don't say I'm from Southern Virginia. No, I'm
You
from,
is, though.
I mean, I am, but I'm from.
But that's
I'm
the same
from
concept of
Martinsville.
DMV, Southern Virginia, DMV. Like it's all
It's
encompassing.
yeah. Like if I live in Winston-Salem, I live in North Carolina. I don't say I'm from the Carolinas.
Right, you don't hear nobody from Baltimore talking about I'm from DMV. I'm from Baltimore.
Because they from
dummy.
Baltimore.
I'm from Baltimore,
Which is not
dummy.
the DMV. Because they from Baltimore. They from Baltimore.
But the M is for what?
Maryland.
Right.
That's Southern Maryland.
No. Maryland.
Maryland.
That's Southern Maryland.
That's exactly how it be, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, come on, man.
This what happened when people outside the club talk about who in the club.
Oh, I'm in the club, baby. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm in the club.
You hating from outside the club?
No,
bro.
hate. No, hate.
Bro. You can't
No
say
hate.
you from Winchester and you say you DMV. You
Right.
represent
People that far just say Northern Virginia. I'm just saying, people that far out say Northern Virginia. And sometimes if I know you, if they know you're not familiar with the area, they say something that you can quickly identify with. So for a lot of people, it's easier to say DC so you can get a concept of the region or space that I potentially am from versus saying Reston and you like, oh, well, where's Reston? And then you got to be like, oh, in the upper part.
Well, I know Reston ain't
Virginia.
DC.
You know, I'm just saying.
So I know
I'm just
that
saying.
ain't DC.
But if you're trying to just paint a picture of where you're from, he could say I'm from Southern Virginia. So people are like, oh, okay, he's from Southern Virginia versus saying Martinsville. And then he got to explain that Martinsville is in Southern Virginia so that someone can understand where that is in relation to X. So for a lot of people, it's just easier to say
No.
DC.
We're not talking about location. We talking about representation.
Right.
And so what I'm talking about is a cat from Winchester saying he DMV.
When he not.
He not DMV. Because the DMV
So
is
Melvin
solely
hung up-
based upon
Melvin
DC.
hung up on the location.
Right.
We talking about representation.
Representation.
Okay.
And that is the illusion of inclusion.
So
No, it's one location.
So says the nigga from Central Virginia who last episode was dressed like he was full blown.
First of all,
So the Central Virginia.
y'all have always heard me say I grew up military, so I lived all over the place.
Okay.
And that's just what it is. So I've been able to pick up on some of these other lived experience from individuals from DMV, North Carolina, South Carolina, and abroad. So I've never said I'm repping this, repping that. I can't help it. I can dress. I mean, you mad at me because I can dress?
He always gonna find a way to.
I'm just saying he was talking
compliment
about representation. And if no one knew better, seeing the outfit that he had on last episode, they would swear that he was.
Again, I can't help. I can dress. How is
It's
that
not
my
about
fault?
the fact that you can dress.
How is that my fault?
Man, this is another episode of Mad D's Podcast. We back.
How is that my fault?
It's your boy Melly Mel, a.k.a. Melly Badass, a.k.a. your favorite truth teller, a.k.a. if you don't want to know,
Don't ask me.
It's your boy T.Dot Roy, your neighborhood hope dealer. If you need some hope, I got some you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
What it do though? It's your boy Dr. Life Coach Lace, aka NBA Old Boy, aka I'm him, aka Mr. Big Shot, aka the men is no relation to Dennis.
Let's get it. The only place that I would say that we can give them a blanket statement of their name, of who they are, is 757.
No.
Them cats,
No.
bro.
You
No.
cannot. You cannot.
That's the only place I can say.
You can't claim 757 and you live in Portsmouth. I'm sorry. That's just not what it is. That's just not what it is.
I
Bad news, Hampton, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, period. Outside of that,
757.
we ain't in
Yeah.
that mix.
now my exclusion was gonna be
Chesapeake will go off though if you say that they
I'm
not
s-
part
you,
of it.
I mean, you can
Chesapeake,
include,
I'll
you
put
can,
Chesapeake
yeah,
in
you
there.
can include
I'll give
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake some respect.
But once you get out there to Portsmouth, all that, yeah, no.
You on your own.
You on your own.
Williamsburg is not 757.
Williamsburg is not.
is not. But
Where they making them hot dogs at? Where you?
Nah.
That ain't in 757. That ain't 757.
Because that's Southampton County.
That is a hot dog factory.
That's
That is
Southampton
not. That is not 757, bro.
That's how Southampton County. So it's got to count. I'm just saying it's got to count.
I would include them.
It's got to count. It's part of Hampton, so it got to count. I'm just saying.
And also another thing about the DMV, which talking about area codes, y'all ain't even got the same area code. Y'all don't share area codes. You got 202s, you got 571s. What else you got? You got
you don't even know.
That's the only ones I know.
See?
Oh, 334. That's Maryland. Thanks.
Dummy.
Exactly. I'm not gonna help him.
443.
I'm not gonna help you.
443 is Maryland. 443 is Maryland.
What that got to do with anything?
I don't know. I was just trying to make a point. I wanted. We was
You
getting
remember
on
pretty
you.
much
But
everything.
you
You
guys
remember
think
we was
so.
getting on you.
When,
We was getting on you, and I was gonna say something, and I was hoping Lace
it's
would jump
actually
in.
better. You thought you had backup. See, that's what be happening. It's better that we have separate area codes to distinguish where we from versus remember back in the day when everything from Richmond to Southern Virginia was 804?
Mm-hmm.
So then people who was nowhere near Richmond was claiming 804 so that they could have some relevance to something. Now look at you. I'm just saying.
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah, Black History Month. Yeah.
I'm black, y'all, because I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black because I'm black, y'all.
Troy get to celebrate half.
See, and that's colorism.
It
and
is.
That's an issue,
I'm
bro.
for the isms.
We need to
Racism, colorism, eroticism, ageism.
And that's the problem, man. I'm forever. I've dealt with that my whole life, bro. Being light skinned. And I think it's because
You don't
we
say.
starting off already. Look.
Right.
I think it's because we, Wesley Snipes had his little run in the 80s, right? Then here come the Shamar Moores, the Boris Kojos, you know what I'm saying? Modern day Drakes, you know what I'm saying? And they hate on the light man. We are family.
Stand up for yourself, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we are family. Let's be inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just because, one of my ancestors might be white. I don't know. Probably. I hope that it was consensual, when it happened. I don't know.
Most
Doubtful.
of us have that situation.
Yeah, but it's more evident in me.
Mm-hmm.
And although I might have been in the household, can I hang out with my cotton picking people? You know what I'm saying?
I know he ain't call me no cotton picker.
Right. That's what he said.
I know he ain't call me no cotton picker.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
I know.
That's what he said, bro.
How you know that's what I would be doing?
You would definitely be.
I would not have been.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, you would.
You talk about
There
being
would be a plaque about me in this day.
Here he
I
go.
guarantee.
Here he go.
I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it.
So you saying, what are you saying?
In the spirit of Nat Turner, I would have a plaque somewhere on this earth, bro.
I feel you. We know Troy
Take
would.
into it.
We know Troy would not.
Honestly, bro.
How come I couldn't just?
You wouldn't. You
How
wouldn't
come
have Troy.
how come I?
You fought.
No,
You like.
bro.
You love rules too much.
He do.
You would. You would
And
not
I hate
have,
I
rules.
don't love
you
rules.
You
would
do,
not
bro.
have
I don't love
you would not
rules.
gotten down with the get down.
Nope.
You would have had your
Nope.
safety whistle.
Boss, they ain't working. Boss, they ain't working.
Hey, let me keep it a stack with you. I ain't never been a snitch. It's nowhere on my
Boss,
record.
they ain't working.
There's nowhere on my record that I've ever been a snitch.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I've
would've-
never been a
you
snitch.
would've
Not
tricked up
get
the
down
whole
with the
flow.
get down.
I've always
Nope.
been for the rebellion.
You would have been left outside. We wouldn't have taught you the hymns and none of that. we would have taught you how to follow the drink and go out and none of that, bro. Couldn't have gave you the recipe, bro. Couldn't have trusted.
Nah,
bro.
man, I would have fought for my people.
I would have had a plaque for sure.
Mhm.
I'm too rebellious. I feel like
obviously your
times
teachers told your dad back
obviously
in the day.
times would be different, but I feel like the personalities that we have now we probably would have had in whatever generation we was born in. So
Mhm.
if I'm rebellious now, I can believe that I would have been rebellious then, and I would have been hard to deal with. I would have been a hard-headed whatever.
Yeah,
it
you be
was.
walking
So
around with a half a foot or something. For sure. You wouldn't
look.
You wouldn't have been whole. You act like you.
I would have. I'm almost confident that I would not have survived long back then.
Yeah,
Just because
yeah.
of my.
You would have probably led a revolt, and that would have been
led
your
a revolt.
that would have been your
I would have
last
been a martyr.
hurrah.
That would have been my last hurrah, and I'd be fine with that.
And it would only be in certain amounts of history,
And I'd be fine with that.
Wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? So
I would be just fine with that.
I feel you.
Nah, I would have
feel
been
you.
I would have been helping the Underground Railroad. I'm being dead serious. I would have been helping the Underground Railroad and helping cats get up out of here. Y'all don't think I would have been doing that?
No.
Let me tell you,
abolitionist.
Yes.
I would have been, and that's exactly what I was getting to. I would have been an abolitionist
How you know?
because of my convictions that I have now
Okay.
of standing up for what I think is godly, and the very things that were going on back then were not godly of any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
I think I would have been, in a sense, more of like like an informant. Like, hey, Massa.
Definitely would have been an informant.
Now listen.
Didn't
But
I tell you?
listen. But on the other side, hey, I heard Massa and them going to town later on today. All right, Harriet and them coming through. Go to the woods, look for the tree that has the knob sticking out and the branch broken. That's where you gonna meet her. Then y'all gonna go north.
Half a foot. You talking about half a foot? Half a foot.
Massa,
you think that story was going to
Oh
fly?
no. This would have been my story.
You
This
think
would
that
have been
story
my story. This would have
The
if
fact
you
that
did
he put
yesterday.
that whole scenario together,
Now,
everybody getting caught.
everybody getting caught.
Like that's just what it is.
It's not that, and you know, some people probably think we making light of the situation, but we not. But you know how black people do. We find humor in trauma.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to.
We laugh about it.
Absolutely.
I just sometimes I do be trying to envision myself because when I be watching slave movies,
Mhm.
I be sitting there a lot of time and I'm like, they would have had to kill me, bro.
Yeah.
You would have had to
yeah,
kill me.
yeah.
I'm not about to do none of the stuff that I seen. But then sometimes I'd be like, would I have done what I was seeing? Because although I feel like I would have had this personality, would I have done that? Would I have
Yeah.
had that mind back then when you don't, you know, that's all you know or something like that? Like, how would I really have been? But yeah, that just be the stuff I be Black History Month come around. And, you know, I'm glad this year I haven't seen any announcements about a slave movie.
Like
Being
new slave,
released, like
new
new
yeah,
slave
yeah.
movie being
Yeah,
released.
yeah.
Like usually there's one every year that's coming out, and not that I'd be mad about it, but not that I don't want our stories to be told, but it's just, I mean, do we have other stories that we can share, like during Black History Month? Are there ones that are about positive instances or people who have made great impact or you know
sure.
inventions or something like that? Not just
There's no movies on Carver and the
Yeah,
Peanut.
just
There's no
like-
movies about the Cotton Gin. There's no movies about Otis who made the elevator. There's no movies on stuff like
Yeah.
that. No movies on the traffic light. There's no movies on things of
things
innovators.
that we built that obviously have grown in other areas, but the inventions that really helped America become sustainable.
right. Yeah. There's no
That's the story that nobody wants to tell. Like if you ask the average person, I'm not gonna say race and ethnicity. If you ask the average person who created this, who created that, they don't know.
They don't know. They don't know.
There's a movie on. There was a movie. What was the lead? The lady who got the award in the movie Help. The Help.
I know
Is
exactly
that
what you're talking about.
Viola?
But,
Not Viola Davis.
Viola is
yeah,
in the
Viola's
Help.
in the movie.
Viola's in it. It's
her
Octavia
supporting-
Spencer.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Octavia Spencer. She was in a movie representing a lady who self-made. Yes.
Eat.
Oh yeah, you the
Madam
millionaire.
C.J. Walker.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
she was a millionaire, and my
C.J.
wife,
Walker.
Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first African American self-made millionaire. It's like that movie was great, but you know, not a lot of people know about it
Mhm.
because it didn't hit mainstream. It's not one of the stories we want to hear. But let it be somebody who took a whip across the back. Then they get. I think the most recent slave movie, if I'm not mistaken, was Emancipation, which came out like 2 years ago.
That was a Will Smith.
That's a
joint,
Will
right?
Smith joint. I didn't get to see it because I'm
It
not
was
going
on
to
Apple TV or something.
But I
like
think
that,
too,
right?
we have to take liberties to dive into like those kind of movies, like the Madam C.J. Walker movie, other movies that I know Netflix has put out that speak about life legacy of those kind of those untold stories. I mean, even like the Tulsa massacre, those kind of things. Like people don't we try to erase history in many ways, but we don't do. Well, let me pose the question: do we do our own due diligence as the community to elevate these stories? Because the movie that just came out on Netflix with Olivia Pope in it about
the
that Tyler Perry did.
Yeah.
668 or was it?
No, that was Kerry Washington.
I said Olivia Pope.
Use her real name.
I know Olivia Pope. That's what I'm gonna call her. You know, it's Black History Month. You know, black folk don't be calling people
We
by
remember
their
you by whatever. You're right. We remember you by whatever
Like,
character
come
we
on,
learned.
right?
you as.
Exactly.
She gonna be Olivia Pope forever.
She gonna be Olivia Pope.
Yeah, you know
I'm sitting here like, who the hell Olivia Pope was? I said, she
But I
wasn't
knew
part of the
exactly who you
regiment.
was talking about.
you
I
know
knew
what
who you
I'm
was talking about.
For the culture.
She
Come
wasn't
on,
part of the
man.
regiment. I'm sitting here like, what, Olivia Pope?
Yes.
The 688.
6888. Yeah. So
Bro,
that
was a good. That was a good
untold
movie.
story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those kind of, and that's like legit U.S. military engagement. You know what I'm saying?
Your mic,
So-
Mike.
That's like legit U.S. military engagement, but yet those are the stories that we never learn about in school. I had never heard of that story until watching the movie. Then I'm doing my research on it and learning more about it. Like, yo, they was in the mix and doing a lot of great work.
It's crazy how much we don't know. You'd be surprised why I asked this first. When y'all was growing up, being from Virginia, did y'all know who Nat Turner was?
Yes.
As a
I
teenager?
had heard the name once or twice in a class, but not until it was like a paragraph. Let's move on and talk about other stuff. Yeah.
It would be surprised how many black people who are from Virginia, born and raised in Virginia, and have never heard of Nat Turner before.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just like stuff like that. And we can't expect nobody but us to really teach us about our history. So in a lot of ways, we can't expect that it's going to come from traditional classroom education. You know, when we say like, are we being taught this stuff? So then if it's not them, then who is going to, teach it to us and stuff like that. So I do think that, or at least I feel like our parents, I don't know, I don't really do with my kids, but I feel like there was great emphasis from my parents on teaching us about black stuff. Like
that's what I'm saying. I didn't,
yeah, like taking us to the African American Museum or the Black Wax Museum or stuff like, or black people get real black during Black History Month. We get kente cloth and all that type of stuff. And we have programs, and so I feel like then, I don't see a lot of Black History Month programming like now, or I don't really spend a lot of time. And maybe this on me talking to my kids about Black history and stuff like that, because we get lost in so much other stuff that we got going on. But I definitely think that collectively we could be better at that in general.
Well, I think you've said this multiple times on here talking about education and how kids are educated. Oftentimes we have to look at who is educating the kids. So only thing I remember as far as my history goes, as far as being taught to me, it's all been white people. So everything that I learned history from came from a white person. So they are going to go by what is important to them. It's important to us too, because it's a part of history. You feel what I'm saying? But oftentimes in those matters, if some things get left out because it's like that wasn't a big thing for them. Like I didn't learn about Juneteenth until I got good and old.
I was old.
I didn't learn about the Tulsa massacre until I was good and old. The destruction of Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Like I didn't learn about those things until I was old, and I learned that. And y'all have to forgive me. Like I heard about it, but I didn't actually start doing a deep dive until I started watching the HBO show Watchmen with Regina King. She is Watchmen was based upon a comic book, but in the TV show that they did on there, they rooted it a lot in the massacre of Tulsa, and it was so intriguing. I was like, I need to look up this stuff a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because there was literally a time where there was Black excellence that was untapped, and people got jealous and shut that joint down, bro. But how can we expect the people who don't look like us to teach us about stuff that pertains to us?
We shouldn't.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like. But I more so meant the question from internally, being exposed to those kinds of things. Luckily enough, I was exposed to some things, obviously not all,
right?
But being able to see systematically how that impacts, again, learning, fact checking, all those kinds of things that we've been, kind of talking about here recently. But being able to include that in our level of understanding and how we navigate the world, you know what I'm saying? So all that has impact. But I was just curious. I don't expect others to hell, look at just not long ago when somebody was like, these people were paid well and they learned trades,
Lord,
this, that, and the third. Like, come on, man, stop playing with me. Stop playing in my. And I think for me, where I'm at with it, stop playing in my face with stupid stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's just stupid.
Yeah.
So that's more so where I'm at with it.
Yo, what used to piss me off, and I had to, in some ways, change my lens about it, is before we got most of this digital media and stuff like that, when the Slave movie came out, if you wanted to see it, you had to go to the movie theater, or wait for it later on for a long time for it to come on Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when those movies would come out, although I didn't want to watch them, I kept believing in supporting Black films because
sure, yeah.
If we don't go to the box office, they're not gonna keep making them, whatever. So I would go watch, even though I didn't want to see them, I would go watch them, and it would piss me off that I would go, and there would be more white people in there than black people. And I used to get so furious because I would be like, this ain't, I be like, this is not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is for us. Find something else to do, and let me enjoy this moment that I'm having right now without you being present in, you know what I'm saying, in this situation. And it's hard when you sit in that movie theater in that and you watching like a replay of what would have been going on in that time, and all you see is oppression of black people and white people at the forefront of it. And then I look over to my left, and Andy is sitting next to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying, and I gotta, you know, and still have a mind of like, oh, this is technically like not my brother, but like he's another, you know, person. I shouldn't look at this movie and immediately look over to him and have, you know, hatred in my heart about him sitting next to me or whatever. So it used to piss me off like all the time. And then I didn't realize how much it bothered me until when the African American Museum opened up. And we went to the African American Museum, and this is a 2-day affair. If you really
you can be in there all
Oh, yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
really want to see the museum. And everywhere that we went in the museum trying to look at the stuff, there was white people in front of us.
Yeah.
And I was getting furious at the fact that I couldn't see what I came to see about my history because for another time, white people were standing in front of it. And I was like, it was almost like I couldn't even enjoy the museum because everywhere I went, they were still impeding my ability to be able to soak in
Sure.
what I wanted to look at. And instead of me looking at like, they're also maybe coming outside of themselves to learn and get information about, you know, my experience.
Sure.
I didn't like look at it that way at first.
Yeah.
I was just mad that they was participating because I'm like, it's for black people anyway.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, it's like, it's not for you. So it took me a while to be like, you know, they need to, it's good for them too. Like, it's good for them to see it. It's good for them to participate. And if they're going to do it and it's not in a malicious way, then I need to be receptive to the fact that they want to, you know, take that in and cherish my lived experience or whatever it may be, and just have a better understanding. But that joint used to piss me off quite a bit.
I would actually say that it's very important that white people engage themselves in things of that nature in this history, because if they receive the same education that I got, then they are completely oblivious also. And we all know the concept about history. If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it.
Oh, it's about to.
Right. And that's the thing. People are trying to overlook the actual things that happen in history, because if they overlook it, then they don't have to acknowledge it, and they don't have to make any change at all. Now, my point, my thing is, if you are going to learn it, don't look at it as, don't go to the African American Museum and treat it like a zoo. In the sense of, I'm coming here, I'm observing other people's habitats, but this don't affect me. And I'm more so getting enjoyment and entertainment from this and not looking for opportunity to change. Because unfortunately, if you go to a museum, Black American history, and you look at it like a zoo, then we're continuing the cycle of just being your entertainment. And not showing you who we are, and you getting to know us and being able to understand, like, we are we have a culture. Like, it's so much that it's untaught. Like, we just pick up on things. Like, we can say something to each other without saying something to each other.
Yeah.
Like, if something's going on in the room and I'm like, I look at you, I'm like, we said a whole thing, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's my only thing. If you're going to go, I want them to be there. I want people of different races and different colors to be there, but at the same time, don't look at it as a zoo. Look at it as an opportunity to learn and make impact and change.
Solid.
You see, I think that is also why I seem to push against the conversation about DEI, and Lace always be like, Mel don't like inclusion. You always joke and be like, Mel don't like inclusion. And it's not that I don't like inclusion. It's just that sometimes you just want your own space. Like, you just want to be able to have your own space and not have to worry about trying to welcome someone into that space. Like, there are so many other spaces that you can be involved in, that we can commune with, that we can, you know, enjoy together and stuff like that. But sometimes I just want to be able to be in my own space, doing what I want to do with my people or my group or whatever it is, and not have to take time to educate you on why we're doing and saying what we're doing or what this means and how this. I just want to be in a space where I can be, where we can laugh and joke and have our, you know, camaraderie, and we know what it means and all this other type of stuff. So it's like I don't want every interaction to be an opportunity to invite someone into it, because to me, I think that there is a great importance in being able to retreat into those times where no one else is included, so that we can get the things that we would not necessarily get from the rest of the world that only we could provide to one another. But if every time we do that, we can't do it without someone saying, well, what about this person, or that person's invited to the cookout, or this person's welcome to the cookout. No, they not. They can't come this time. Like maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. But not now.
But this particular cookout, it's not for them.
No,
like let us have this cookout. Let us have this experience. So it's not that I don't want to be inclusive. I just don't want every situation to be inclusive. I don't want every opportunity that we have to connect to involve external groups. Like let me rejuvenate with my people. Let me bond with you. Let me do everything with you, and not have to worry about you trying to invite. It's not to say that someone doesn't belong, but just extra people. Like if I invite you to lunch, don't show up with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I said we gonna go get, don't bring an extra person that we ain't talking about. Then you be like, oh, this is my man. So I didn't ask you to bring your man such and such.
Mm-hmm. No,
so
I agree with you. And so I think the concept and the action and the actualization of inclusion, two different things. So yes, we do need our own spaces. We do need to have opportunities to do what we do from a cultural standpoint. And I think we find those spaces in our own way. You know what I mean? Whether that is what we do, whether that is church, whether that is the barbershop. I mean, we have our pockets of cookout gatherings, those kind of things is listed. But I think large scale, for some aspects of progression, there has to be inclusion.
Yeah.
So that's more so just the lens that I'm speaking on it from.
Yeah.
Not that it's a crapshoot, everybody's invited to everything or included in everything. No, it has to be some differentiation.
But I think that even at those smaller levels is what I'm saying. Like like some of the ones you mentioned, like the barbershop or whatever it is. Like, no, it's white people in the barbershop now. White guys like how black guys cut their hair.
Well, I mean,
so now they come to the black barbershop.
Some of them are barbers.
Well, you got to think,
there's white barbers who. Like,
well, those are people who benefit from the culture,
they can cut,
which everybody benefits from the
culture.
culture.
They can cut. Not to say that white people can't cut hair, and you know they can cut, and they in the barbershop. So I'm saying that is not even a space now that is, you know, just black. Just we used to be able to go to the barbershop and it only be us in there, and we talk like the movie The Barbershop. And you saw how that played out because everyone hated on my man that sat in the front because he was the chain and the hair. It's like most of the argument against him was, why are you in here with us? There's plenty of other barbershops that you could be in. You got the shirt, you got the chain, you got the lingo, whatever it is. And half of the argument between him and the other man that wanted to be a politician was that he felt like he was a culture vulture. Mm-hmm. Like,
we have a lot of those around us.
So I'm saying, like, so when I get what you're saying, like big picture inclusion, but I'm saying, like, even in the little spaces, you can't even do that because a lot of times our community as black people don't have a succinct mind of, this is for us, this is our space, we gonna hang out, because there's always someone that's willing to say, he welcome to the cookout. Nigga do a little shook and jive one time, and he like, oh, he cool, he can come to the cookout.
I ain't gonna
he sing a little note at the karaoke. Oh, Robin Thicke can come to the cookout, or whatever. So it's like we don't have a unified mind on what is our space that nobody can intrude or whatever.
So what is that space?
So
what is that space?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? Do we have it? Because every time we try to create it, it's either someone literally inviting someone else to the cookout, or someone looking over trying to push their way into whatever they see that we've created, because they see it as either something I think find as entertainment or whatever it is.
I think that's truly what we have to consider if you're the gatekeeper of that said thing. So like us, what we do from a podcasting lens, we the gatekeepers. We ain't invited nobody to sit at the table. We've had people ask whether they are within the culture or on the outside of the culture. But as a gatekeeper, how you have to assess that. Like, no, this is our space. This is what we do. It's not trying to exclude, but this is the justification as to why we like it the way that
we do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's really where the mindset that one would have to have around that. So that's the only thing I got on that.
So so those are great questions, and my replying question is, so going back to the movie Barbershop, right? So they got on my man's who was a part of the culture but was not but wasn't black.
Mhm.
So then you have the counselor who was black but he wasn't a part of the culture.
Mhm.
So so I know you say, places for people who look like us,
Mhm.
but then there are people who look like us
Who ain't for us.
Right. I don't think all skinfolk are kinfolk.
So
I don't believe that either.
So like what's your response to that? Like, because here's the thing. All skin folk and kinfolk, right?
Mhm.
So then we have to look at it like, well, who promotes the culture? Who supports the culture?
Mhm.
Who is giving to the culture and not taking away from it? You know what I'm saying? Like I think sometimes we have to take that perspective, because in that case, we're going to end up having to analyze people who all right, it's easy to analyze people who don't look like us. That's easy. Shut you down. But then we got to start looking at ourselves who don't really fit in.
Well, the problem is we give the culture away.
Yes.
We give the culture away, and others capitalize and monetize the culture.
And we give it away because
we give it away
after,
for free
after capital gain, or for our own pockets or opportunities or whatever.
Right,
So
for
we
us,
give it away.
for individuals,
Yes.
not for the culture. So that's where the differentiation comes from. I mean, even look now with the games you can buy in Target, culture tags and what's the game?
What is that?
Cards for Humanity and stuff like that.
Cards
or
for
just,
Humanity,
different things like that.
Black Card Revoked, like all that kind of stuff. Was that for us? Or because anybody can go buy that, you feel me?
That's
so
true.
You can't even play the game.
and
How
that's
you know?
so it's really
Can't play. That's exactly what I'm talking
it's
about.
really the pulling from the culture, but we get a game for free.
We get a game away for free. So to your point, yes, and I cannot think of this man's name in the movie, but I know
The guy who played the mayor?
who played the councilman,
Yeah,
Jimmy. Jimmy.
Was it Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. Isaac was the white barber, whatever, in the joint. Jimmy and Isaac. But I think in that regard, yes, Isaac was down for the people, was for the culture and all that. Again, not to say that he didn't belong in the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? He was being ridiculed as like a culture vulture because it felt like he was wearing a costume. That's like the conversation.
You can tell it wasn't real.
Yeah, it's like it's not
real.
authentic. And that's how a lot of people feel. It's like to you, it feels like, this is where I'm from, this is what I do. But from the outside, it looks like you have on a costume. The same way that, and I'm just using these movie things as an example, or TV, when during the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when Carlton used to wear his sweaters tied around his shoulders, or certain clothes that he would wear, to certain white people in the group, or to Will, or to other black people, they felt like he was wearing a costume because he didn't traditionally look black, although his skin was black. And if you remember the episode where they were in college and they were trying to join the fraternity,
Yeah.
and he went through all the same stuff that everybody else went through, but the guy at the time who was dean of pledges or whatever felt like he wasn't good enough to be
because
in
of
the
his
chapter
privilege.
because of his privilege and
Yeah.
because of how he dressed and how he carried himself. He didn't deem him as black. And Carlton basically said, I listen to whoever I listen to and I dress however I dress, but I'm running the same race that you running. So while you feel like Jimmy was not for the culture, I feel like Jimmy was for the culture. It just didn't look like what others wanted it to look like.
He was actually trying to sell the block so they lose the barbershop though. And that he was basically trying to destroy the culture.
He wasn't trying to destroy the culture. He was trying to improve the quality of the culture. And if in some spaces I have to improve the neighborhood, there are in some ways that I agree with gentrification. If the no, shut up, listen.
That's a big statement.
Listen to what I'm saying. If I'm going to improve the look and feel and quality of the neighborhood, and there are black people from that area who are buying into this neighborhood, who are buying into this thing, and they're the ones bringing the business, and we're going to elevate the economic stature of this community, I'm for that. I'm not for gentrification of whites, rich and wealthy, coming to remove black business from a space that has already existed to put up a coffee shop or or something like that.
But
So
that's what gentrification gonna do.
Oh, so you don't support, because you said I agree with gentrification.
There's a certain part of
per definition,
but gentrification is really
you agree with revitalization.
Okay, revitalization. Okay. Give me the right word.
Oh yeah, because I don't want the listeners to be like, this nigga.
You right.
I'm trying to help you.
I appreciate you because
I'm gonna clip that.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So revitalization. And in that particular movie, and in that particular situation, there weren't this myriad of white businesses that were coming in to destroy the barbershop. There were other black businesses that were coming that were providing competition to the businesses that already existed.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't as if it was negative, but then that becomes a conversation of what does improving the community look like?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I can't improve it, if I can't change it, if the buildings are run down, if the buildings are out of whack or whatever it is, you could say just give the money to those people that are there and build up the businesses. But does that leave room for new opportunities or new businesses or new ventures or anything like that? So it's like, what does that look like in terms revitalizing the community could look different from you to you.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I don't feel like he was against the culture. I feel like he had a different lens on what would be beneficial for the community. And then to keep it running, if you do look at Barbershop 3 or whatever, by the time they got to it, they did change the building. They did renovate everything. And
they put the salon in there.
You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. So they went along with the plan eventually anyway to build up the community in a way that was going to be beneficial. What I'm saying is that the root of it, though, in essence, we have to really find out who the skinfolk is that's not kinfolk versus the skinfolk who who don't fit our lens of what blackness is, but are black. Because just because I talk proper or I dress a certain way, it don't mean I'm not kinfolk. It means I got a different interest, or I have maybe grew up in a different area, or I may grew up with a different privilege that allows me to wear a certain type of clothes or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean I'm not for the people versus those who are outwardly against, black people, the right-wing Republicans who have no business being over there or whatever it is, just for hatred of self and color and stuff like that. So I think that because they look similar, we as black people usually will just group them together. It's just like, oh, well, Carlton belong over there. And unless you look like we look right now, urban and street and stuff like that, this is what we consider blackness at the end of the day. Yeah. If you're not urban, street black, if you don't got no, ebonics to your language at some point or something like that, we like, oh, you're not black because you're using words like revitalization and holistic and you know what I'm saying and stuff like that. So because you're using a vernacular that I don't understand, I automatically deem you as non-black because it's not in a language that I understand. So we then begin to quantify someone else's blackness by our own lens or ruler. So then you like, well, he white and he wearing FUBU, but he black and he want to revitalize the community. What's the difference in them?
Yeah, and I think too that's how we view how we can be biased within our own community. Because if you can't flip the switch, that's on. I can't help that my as T.I. said that my vernacular is vast and I can be this, I can be that. You know what I mean? So I think that is a piece. But from an action standpoint, we can easily judge based upon what has not been done and what has been done. So I think that's the difference in the explanation based upon the movie was that Jimmy had a different vision for what black excellence looks like. And it's hard to get someone who is in that lives that experience on a day-to-day basis who has not had that access to view it differently. Yeah. So I think that's the piece that is differently, because even like in Winston, I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday from looking at the lens of poverty, generational poverty. Why? If you're born into poverty, you're likely not going to have access and opportunities to shift that narrative. So that's why we have multiple generations of people who live in poverty. And it is really interesting when people are like, well, we want to have a greater impact, or we want to get rid of poverty in this area. How? That's generational. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
and it's not just money; it's also mindset.
That's what I'm saying. So all of that comes into play when having these large scale conversations. So a different vision for, I have an idea for this, but it's so much more that goes into it, and that leads me to my next point: how we often come up with ideas on how we can make our community better, but we have no pathway in doing that.
Yeah.
And that is where the issue lies. Because even in talking from a political lens with people about, like with the whole thing with the executive order that came out as far as immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, all these black folk on social media, I know where they at. If they paying $750, bro, like really? But your man's killed 3 people last year, and you
free
ain't
my
said
man,
Free my man.
free my man's.
So that's what it's mind boggling, bro. It's mind boggling.
That's why I think so many times we have to find a moral anchor that is outside of ourselves, because we end up falling for anything as long as it benefits me.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and that is a complex that has vastly deteriorated our community, because it's about me. It ain't about for the good. It's about me. What am I getting? How am I going to improve my situation? Not looking at how it can improve the larger population, or contribute to the culture as a whole.
And that's a part of the scarcity mindset, because if I have to get it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't get it, I don't live.
That's how we talk.
That's how we talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's yeah.
Because I've aligned myself with more people when we talk about, he got that dog in him, he a hustler, this, that, and the third. I was watching 85 South a couple weeks ago, and the dude that was a hustler got into stocks, and he was like, Wall Street. Yeah, I approached it like the drug game. He was like, this is how I had to break it down. But that's game that we don't view it in that way, because we look at it, okay, Wall Street is a space that we can't get in. You know what I mean? Nah, you can get in that space, and if you approach it in a way that you can break it down and understand it, that's a hustle. And I think that's where we've lost some of our grind around that.
Can you, when we finish, can you send me that one? Because
I
missed that one.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I normally watch 85 South when they got the comedians on there, because they just be
he was spitting real. He was spitting real.
Yeah, I follow Trap. You don't follow Trap, follow Trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out
It's
Trap.
real.
Wall Street Trapping. If you go on Instagram, Wall Street Trapping.
Yeah.
Because that's all they doing. That is all that our counterparts are doing in that game.
Yeah.
Treating it just like.
And I actually like Trap because he breaks the information down in a way that a teenager can understand.
Yeah.
You know, like he again translates the stocks to the street, and then for most people that's what they understand, so it's a little bit easier to digest. Like EYL is cool, they smart, they give a lot of information and stuff like that. If you're more affluent or you're college studied and stuff like that, like I feel like that is more the lane for you for EYL. But if you trying to figure out at ground level, like what does some of this stuff mean, Big Trap got you, bro.
Yeah.
Follow Wall Street Trapper, yo.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
But I realized just this week, from a Black History lens, I'm old and washed, bro. Like I am washed. I'm at a game this week, doing a high school game, and I'm on the baseline or whatever, and kid talking to another kid on the court. Hey, yo, twin, get a bucket, twin. I'm like, yo, what is he? This twin game, and I'm just like, yo, what?
First of all, they don't look nothing alike.
Nothing alike. I said, that ain't your brother. But are you my brother? Like, so he was like, all this gang, yeah, gang. I'm like, bro, what is going on? Because I don't understand this verbiage, this lingo. I just don't get it.
Listen, there's one word that I had to get myself familiar with, and that's YNs. When that's one I had to learn, because I was like, everybody kept saying YNs. I was like, what is a YN?
Right away.
And I looked it up, and I was like,
I
need to know what YNs are.
I didn't know. I'm surprised you didn't know that right away.
Well, when a word is first introduced to you, you know what I'm saying, and people are
it's
talking.
It's not a word. It's an acronym.
It's
It's acronym. Yeah. When an acronym is first introduced,
I'm surprised
to
you didn't know what it meant right away.
Off rip, I was like, YNs, and the way that they were trained, I was like, okay, is it stereotypical that I think that it is what it is? That I think it is.
Like, yo, I'm washed. I don't understand none of this
because a part of me was like, I don't want to buy into the stereotype that this is what y'all referring to, and sure enough, it is a stereotype of phrase.
Yeah, gang. You know what?
This year,
what? Is gang members here?
I'm gonna let Mel say what YNs are because I took a vow this year to not say the N-word for the whole rest.
They
of
know
the
what
year.
it means.
block
Y'all
it out
Google
anyway.
It.
So
Yeah,
why you want me to
Google
say it? You gonna bleep it.
Google YNs if you listen.
But that was that's actually a good point to bring up. Like this year, I wanted to. So a couple things that happened in this year. My grandmother's turning 80, and she's from Martinsville 276. She's from Martinsville.
Gang signs.
Yeah, it's what it is, baby.
ONs over here.
But anyway.
ONs over here.
Right, ONs of the Golden Lords. This nigga on Meteor Man.
Listen, let me tell my story.
Nigga side, everything is A-OK. A-OK.
No.
Hey, you do that in front of some YNs, you gonna be in trouble.
Right,
Oh, I know.
You gonna be in trouble, bro.
I'm not
You
affiliated.
better stop doing that.
Yo, go ahead, yo. Go ahead.
Hey, bro,
Oh,
my bad.
my
Go ahead,
God.
tell your story, bro. Pour your heart out, dog. Go ahead, bro.
Doc. Go ahead.
My
Come on,
grandmother's turning 80. So we record this and we put it up on YouTube. It's on your favorite podcast networks, whatever the case may be.
Xfinity Channel 16.
Xfinity Channel 16.
Yeah.
Put out.
It's shown in Martinsville where my grandmother lives. And it comes up on the show. And one night she was just, I don't think I told her that we was going to be on TV.
Uh-huh.
She woke up one night on the couch and she was like, that look like Troy? And I just was dropping N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, hey, if you can just not say the N-word,
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it. And at the time, I thought it was just my grandmother being, super churchy and stuff like that. But, she broke it down to me. She was like, listen, I grew up in a time where this was very hurtful. When it was said towards me, it was never in a positive light.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a gift to her, and as every year I find something that I sacrifice. Just as a way of growth, just to realize that I don't have to depend upon that one thing. And so the N-word has been one of those things that I have given up to honor her, and then also as a way of one of the things I can sacrifice. So
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm trying, but it's hard.
Hey, man.
it's tough, bro.
It's hard.
Because if I see some niggly stuff,
Right.
if I see it, I gotta say it.
Gotta call it what it is.
I gotta say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, as long as they exist, I
Yeah.
gotta say it, bro.
It's hard.
It's tough.
It's
I'm
hard.
not gonna lie. I mean, it be days because I told my wife about it and she was like, I was like, you gotta hold me accountable because it just be slipping, bro. And she'll catch me and she'll be like, hey, Troy, you
But she
said
doesn't
it.
say it.
She doesn't say it.
Right. Right.
And I knew it was problematic because I was starting to call her that,
Mm.
and she's like, first of all, I'm not your N-word.
Mm. Don't be a nigga. Be my nigga.
Okay?
And I was like, you know what? I probably should work on not using this in my vocabulary. And it's also to challenge me to use different ways to change stuff. Because y'all don't realize this. In our text messages, first of all, it's a whole bunch of them in our text messages. But
Why are you telling everybody what be in our text message?
well, I'll edit that part out. I'll edit that
You
part
can edit
out.
about nigga. I just say nigga all the time. They don't know.
Right.
Thank God my grandma don't watch the podcast.
Well, my grandma and my people, they say
I
it
say
all the time. They
My
say it all the
granddaddy used to
time.
call us niggas all the time. I'm not
No,
lying.
for real. I mean, my people say it. Yeah.
My aunt used to get. She still to this day. She don't want to hear nobody say it. Like anybody in the family, you say stop saying that. Stop saying. I'm like, your daddy used to call all of us niggas.
Right.
That's where I got it from. So
Right.
if you want me to stop saying it, you should have been telling him to stop calling me that when I was younger. So I'm nigga proficient. I've tried to stop saying it, and sometimes I don't even realize I be doing it.
Like
because
legit, that happened just this morning. I'm on the phone this morning, and I said that I was gonna try to stop in honor of Troy. I said I'm gonna try to stop saying this word, and the person I was talking to, They were like, you realize you said it like 5 times in a row, right? I was like, wait, what? I said what? Like, yeah, you just said it like 5. I ain't even know.
I ain't even know. Like, I just be, bro. I'm telling you. I don't even want to say I've always wrestled with that because I just kind of gave up on trying not to say it. But I do wonder sometimes if I should be a little more conscious about saying it, and if I should be saying it or not, because I know what it does mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that time.
Sometimes it just fits, though.
I know.
Like,
That's the hard part.
It really does.
It encompasses so much, and it has multiple meanings.
And it's not respective to color either.
Not at all.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of other niggas out there too.
I know. If I see some niggardly stuff, I gotta say it.
Oh, this nigga, just like this week, and Troy, you gonna have a lot of bleep outs.
No, don't bleep it.
I got a bunch of
Stop bleeping
got
it.
a bunch of bleeps. But just like this week with the school shooting, when that came across in Memphis, I said, "Oh,
This
these
nigga
niggas
crazy.
stupid."
This nigga
Like,
crazy.
they got, I don't know who it was, what they looked like, none of that. That's the first thing that came to mind.
I'm saying I feel like you still need the word. Because we gotta distinguish black people from niggas, man. We gotta put a separation from.
Yes,
we
I
got
agree.
to.
It's hard, but
I feel it's hard to get rid of the word,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
know it's sensitive for our grandmas and stuff like that, and I understand it.
Mhm.
I 100% understand it.
mhm.
It was used to demean you. I get it, bro. But I'm like, I need this word sometimes.
Yeah.
What other word can I use?
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I actually think that Negroes is worse.
10 times worse.
The
And when
nigga.
I
I feel like-
hear that,
When I hear
I'm
Negro,
offended.
I get offended.
I'm offended.
Negro is way
Yeah,
more
I'm
offensive than
offended.
nigga to me.
Right.
I don't-
I forgot what movie I was watching, and they were like, the Negro something. I was like,
Negro.
wait, what?
Listen,
I'm African American.
I'm not sure if y'all seen this video. This is it's a old white man going live, and he's reading people type stuff in the chat because he's interacting with the chat. And this is old white man, and he's reading this question. He said one of the questions. He said, "Question from user XYZ says, would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro?" And he was like, "Oh."
Yo, get your man.
Y'all didn't see that? It's funny. He didn't realize what he was reading. No. Knee as in knee. It was written as knee grow. Would you rather see a tree grow or a Negro?
Mm-hmm.
And it took him man. It's your boy
He explained
Troy.
it 3 times. He explained it 3 times, and I don't even know what.
I'm editing that.
I don't even keep it in there. We need it because I don't know what you was talking about.
I was just saying this is funny. It was funny.
I don't know what you was talking
It
about.
was funny, Doc.
and how bad it
funny.
is.
Hey,
It was funny.
Hey,
That
no,
was
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
That was a real knee slapper.
Hey, get up out of here. Get up out of here. Hey, no, we up out of here. Hey,
Where do we
boy,
land? Are we supposed to say nigga or not?
No. It's your boy Troy, Life Coach Lane.
Can we say nigga
Mel
or
and
not?
Mel. It's the Manly D's podcast. We out.
I'll say
I'm
nigga.
sick of this.
This nigga's crazy.
This nigga is
This
nuts.
nigga's crazy. No, you talking about funny nigga moments and white people. Y'all seen that clip on the internet of the white dude that was talking about, he said said nigga to one of the kids in his class. And he said he be saying
yeah.
He said I didn't say nigga with a hard R. He said I
Nigga.
said nigga, please.
Can a nigga get a pencil?
Nigga, can I borrow a piece of paper?
The one part that got me, he was like, they even say stuff. Can I borrow a pencil? Can an N-word
nigga
borrow
get a pencil?
Can an N-word borrow a fry? And I didn't think about what the N-word was. I sat back and I thought about, now how is an N-word gonna borrow a fry?
So that's what I'm saying.
Crazy. Yeah, we got to do better, man. Happy Black History Month, though.
Happy
We
Black
in here.
History Month.
We in here.
Happy Black History Month.
Do what you got to do for you. Do some research. Do some find something a fact or a new ideation around Black History
Because
Month.
I get extra black during Black History Month.
Find something for yourself.
We are at time. It's literally
No, we control the time.
Well, I know because we got stuff to do, but I do want to ask this question, and maybe we could spend 3 minutes on it. So you're saying people need to do research, right?
Yeah.
How do you? This is a very tiring thing, and I understand as a lot of people keep saying, it's a very tiring thing to teach people.
Sure.
Specifically about Black culture. And sometimes I know that, when we're asked from non-Blacks, like, can you help me understand? The first thing we go to is go look it up yourself. I think these are opportunities. When people ask me, can you tell me about something? They're actually trying to grow. You feel me? And I think this is a time for us to try to gain that patience in order to help people understand the plight of the African American.
You see what I mean?
And again, I do see what you mean.
What you
Mel.
mean? See what I mean?
See what I mean?
I do see what you mean. What I'm saying, and I understand the question and to answer the question. I think my philosophy is if I want to learn about something, and most people can attest to this, they will do their due diligence to gain some type of foundational understanding. It is not hard with all this information at our fingertips. 10 inventions made by Black men or Black individuals.
Yeah.
Tulsa race massacre. Googleable. These are things that, again, that if you have a concept in knowing, or even when was Black history created? What was the premise behind it? Like, those are things that are easily accessible. Now, if there's something more in depth that there could be knowledge based around, I've done my research. I've done some research on this. Can you help me have a better understanding? Just like you in your doc program now.
Yeah.
Your teacher will give you the concept. Yeah. This is what we've learned conceptually. Yeah. You got to do the research. Yeah. No different than this aspect of life. If you want to know, you will do your due diligence in some capacity to get it. Now, granted, you may need some assistance in that, but you have to be willing to do the work. And that's like we tell people to heal. We tell people to do count therapy and all that other stuff to address whatever aspect of life that they've gone through. You got to be willing to do the work. And that's what it boils down to. If you're not willing to do the work, I'm not helping you.
Well, and okay, so then they go to do the work, but then someone gets mad because at the African American Museum, I can't see the placard because they standing in the way.
I'm just trying to help my knee grow. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help my knee grow. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. That is it.
Oh my gosh. That was good. That was so good. That was really good.
Oh my God.
Oh,
hey,
man.
that was A-OK.
Right. A-OK.
All right, that's enough. It's your boy Troy, Life Coach Lace, Melly Mel. It's the Manly D's podcast. This is the second sign off. We out.
Oh my God.